Today we are going to start our chapter number 7, Decolonialization to Political Integration of India. In that chapter we will going to study decolonization to political integration of India, Dadar and Nagar Haveli, Goa and Pondicherry. Meaning of decolonialization. What do you mean by decolonialization? Decolonialization is the process of ending the colonial rule and handing over the political and administrative power to the local people by colonialists. Stages of decolonialization. There are three stages: opposition to colonialism, struggle for independence, and the nation under colonialization regaining their independence. As we know that we got independent on 15th August 1947. However, at that time there existed several princely states in India which were ruled by the hereditary ruler under the British sovereignty. These states were given the choice to decide whether to accede to India or not. If this state had decided against it, then it would be very difficult to create Indian Union. At that time, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Home Minister of India, persuaded most of the ruler of the state in favor of acceding to India or to merge into Indian Union so that the political integration of India could be possible. That based on a number of events. Let's study in detail these events. First point, decolonialization to political integration of India. When we gained independence, there were more than 600 princely states of various size. Their political integration was the biggest challenge faced by the leaders of independent India. There was political awakening in the princely states because of non-cooperation movement. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel handled the situation with great skill and tact. He could a conciliatory approach and won the confidence of the rulers of these states. With the exceptions of Junagadh, Hyderabad and Kashmir, remaining states responded positively to the appeal and merged in India. Later, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel adopted a stern policy and resolved the problem of the accession of those states who were unwilling to accede. First state, it was a princely state in Saurashtra, Gujarat. The people in Junagadh were ready to accede to India, while its Nawab wanted to merge in Pakistan. However, common people opposed the Nawab's decision. He escaped to Pakistan. In Feb 1948, Junagadh was merged in India. The problem related to the accession or to accede in India was arose in Hyderabad. It also known as Hyderabad Freedom Struggle. Hyderabad was the largest among the princely states in India. It comprised Telugu, Kannada and Marathi regional section. It was ruled by Nizam. He put restriction on the civil and political right of his subject to a great extent. To fight against the suppressive policies of Nizam, people of the state established various organizations, namely Andhra Parishad in Telangana, Maharashtra Parishad in Marathwada, and Karnataka Parishad in Karnataka. Swami Ramanand Tirtha led Hyderabad freedom struggle skillfully with the help of loyal workers of these three organizations. He also founded the Hyderabad State Congress and gave a momentum to the struggle for Hyderabad accessions. With the foundation of Hyderabad State Congress, a resolution was passed in favor of Hyderabad's merge in India. It was opposed by Nizam for the fear of losing his hold. He was willing to join Pakistan, but the people were in favor of India. While the ruler was in favor of Pakistan, Qasim Razvi, who could exercise considerable influence over Nizam, founded an organization called Razakar. Qasim Razvi and his organization practiced many atrocities against the people who were fighting for democracy. Nizam was adamant on his policies. He was averse to any negotiation and closed all channels of mediation. Ultimately, the Indian government launched a police campaign against Nizam. This campaign was named as Operation Polo. On 17 September 1948, Nizam finally surrendered and Hyderabad state was merged in India. Next, the Kashmir. The Kashmir issue. Hari Singh, the ruling king of the state of Kashmir, had decided neither to join India nor Pakistan after India's independence. However, Pakistan had planned to annex Kashmir to its territory. Therefore, Pakistan began to pursuing King Hari Singh. On 22nd October 1947, armed band of intruders attacked Kashmir from the Pakistan border. King Hari Singh, who wanted to maintain independent status, asked India for help. On 27th October 1947, he consented to merge Kashmir in India and officially submitted the agreement, that is the instrument of accession, to the government of India. The Indian army was sent for Kashmir's protection. It captured a significant portion of Kashmir's territory that was acquired by the armed intruders from Pakistani border. However, they managed to keep their hold on some portion. In 1948, India presented the Kashmir issue in United Nations. Thus, Kashmir issue became an international issue. Even the United Nations could not persuade Pakistan to withdraw their troops from the territory of Kashmir occupied by them. However, then the National Conference Party decided to publicitate on the issue to accede Kashmir to India. The Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir was drafted, and since then Jammu Kashmir has been an integral part of the Republic of India. It was accorded a special status under Article 370. Second point, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, located in the interior parts of Gujarat coast. It is on the northern banks of the river Damanganga. It was part of Portuguese dominion and was administered by Portuguese governor. It was anticipated that after India's independence, the Portuguese would hand over these regions to India and quit. However, they did not do so. Therefore, the local people in Dadra and Nagar Haveli rose against the Portuguese. The organization, namely United Fronts of Gonds and Azad Gomanthak Dal, came together and planned a campaign to free these regions from the Portuguese rule. In 1954, Francisco Mascarenhas Vimal Sardesai, the leader of Azad Gomanthak Dal, intensified the struggle. People they captured Nagar Haveli. The other organization, United Front of Gonds, took hold of Dadra. Rashtravadi Mukti Sena, a branch of Azad Gomanthak Dal, took over Naroli, Pimparia, and some part of Silvassa. Local police station and administrative offices were attacked. Public unrest reached such extent that the Portuguese army had to beat a retreat. The Portuguese captain Fidalgo surrendered. The government of India appointed K.G. Badlani to bring normalcy in administration in these areas. According to the agreement with the Indian government, the region of Dadra and Nagar Haveli was merged in India on 2nd October 1954. Vishwanath Lavande, Raja Bahu Wakankar, Sudhir Nana Sahib Kajarekar, Vasan Zanjale, and many others participated in this struggle. In 1961, Dadra and Nagar Haveli were given the status of Union territories. Goa, the movement of liberating Goa from the Portuguese rule had begun during pre-independence time only. In 1928, Goa Congress Committee was founded in Mumbai. Dr. T.B. Kunha was the president of this committee. In 1929, Goa Congress Committee became an integral branch of Indian National Congress. In 1939, posters with "Quit Goa" slogans were posted all over Goa. Francisco Mascarenhas, the president of United Gonds Front, unfurled the Indian flag in Goa. In 1946, under the leadership of Ram Manohar Lohia, the movement of civil disobedience was launched in Goa. He was arrested and deported from Goa. Dr. T.B. Kunha, Purushottam Kadodkar, Dr. Ram Hegde, Dr. P.P. Shirodkar, and others participated and arrested in the Satyagraha at Madgaon. Dr. Kunha was imprisoned for 8 years. He was sent to a prison in Portugal. Later, after returning to India, he started publishing two newspapers, namely Azad Goa and Swatantra Goa. After India's independence, the movement for liberating Goa took root in Maharashtra. In 1954, the Goa Vimochan Sahayak Samiti was founded at Pune. Keshavrao Jede, N.G. Gore, Jayantrao Tilak took the responsibility of directing the movement. Some groups who volunteered for the cause of Goa liberation marched to Goa under the leadership of N.G. Gore and Senapati Bapat. One group of those volunteers unfurled the national flag of India on the fort of Panaji. There were a number of other eminent people who participated in the Goa liberation movement. It included people like Mahadev Shastri Joshi, Shirubhau Limia, Peter Alvaris, and Sudha Joshi. The contribution of Mohan Ranade in this struggle is very significant. He systematically began anti-Portuguese propaganda in Goa with the help of Azad Gomanthak Dal. He also started armed struggle against the Portuguese. During an attack on a police station, he was shot and got injured. Portuguese government kept him in jail till 1972. Acharya P. K. Atre used the daily newspaper Maratha, published by him, as a platform for supporting the movement. The strong public sentiments in the matter of Goa liberation moved Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru to act on it. A mission was planned under the code name Operation Vijay. Indian Army descended in Goa to accomplish the mission. The army was helped by local civilians as well. They showed the army the place where the Portuguese had planted landmines. The Portuguese surrendered within 48 hours. On 19 December 1961, Goa became a part of Indian Republic. The foreign rule of 450 years. When India got its independence, Pondicherry was still a French colony. There prevailed a general notion among the Indians that the departure of British from India would send a signal the Portuguese and the French to leave India on their own, but they were not ready to do so. The dispersed region, including Pondicherry, Karaikal, Mahi, Yanam, and also Chandranagar in West Bengal, were ruled by the French. The French government was unwilling to surrender these regions. People at Pondicherry got united under the leadership of V. Subhaya, a communist politician and a trade unionist. Taking a serious note of the happening in Pondicherry, the government of India strongly demanded that the French government return the Indian region held by them. In June 1948, a bilateral agreement was signed between both the governments. Thus, it became possible to resolve the Pondicherry issue by the way of negotiation, public movements, and governmental actions. In 1949 to 50, after a positive public poll, Chandranagar was merged in Indian Republic. Later, on 13th October 1954, by a bilateral agreement between the Indian government and French government, the minutes of the merge process was drafted. The vote in the Legislative Assembly and in the municipal corporation was in the support of accession. On 1st November 1954, all French colonies in India were merged in India. In 1962, the French Parliament approved of the bilateral agreement, and in 1963, Pondicherry was declared to be a union territory. Now, what was the conclusion? Under the leadership of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and the princely state in India were acceded to India and became integral part of the Indian Republic. Thus, the process of political integration of India was completed.